What's up, YouTube? I'm back from a long hiatus, and I'm probably not coming back for a while, but I want to review the new Star Wars movie with plenty of spoilers, so I'll give you a few seconds to leave if you want to avoid spoilers. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay. Now, the people that are still here, I think this movie was trash, and probably the worst Star Wars movie ever made. It wasn't complete garbage. I'll first talk about some of the things I did like about this movie. And what I'll start with was the new characters. They did a good job with the new characters. Finn was actually my favorite character of the whole entire movie. I liked the BB-8 droid. I liked Poe. Rey, I mean, Daisy really did a good job acting. She was played well, but I mean, I don't know enough about her to really form a legitimate opinion about whether I like her or not. But she's kind of a badass. She's a pretty good character, but just personally for me, I don't really relate. But she's not a bad character. Another thing I liked about the movie was, the humor. This was definitely probably the most humorous Star Wars movie that is around. So I guess I'll give them that. The characters had pretty good chemistry. And probably the last thing no, this is another thing I enjoyed. I like how they upgraded, they showed that it was in the 30 years in the future. The TIE fighters were upgraded. When Finn's in the Millennium Falcon, he's like, what the fuck? Like some stuff like that. They did do a good job with the setting and everything. So I'll give them that. So pretty much that leads to me why this movie was shit. And the first reason I'm going to go with is that which bothers me the most, is that they completely bastardized the original trilogy. This movie made the original trilogy literally useless. I don't want to see the original trilogy movies ever again, and those were the best Star Wars movie overall. And the reason why I say this is, okay, you go look at Han Solo, right? So Han Solo, his character development through the original trilogy, he's a coward smuggler in the fourth one, comes through at the end. That's part of his development. He becomes a man, he becomes brave, so on and so forth, which carries on into 5 and 6, right? Never tell me the odds, and how he goes into the snowstorm in Hoth to save Luke's life, right? But for some reason, when he is found with adversity in between 6 and 7, right? For some reason, he just backs away and he goes back to his old ways, which makes no fucking sense. So you're telling me the motherfucker that went into the snowstorm to save Luke Skywalker's fucking life, when he was advised not to by everybody, he has the balls to do that, but yet when his son turns to the dark side, he splits with Leia and just goes fucking MIA? What the fuck? Again, same thing with Luke. Luke, in the original trilogy, had the fucking biggest set of fucking balls. And he is a total bitch. He tries to, reform the Jedi Order, and then, Ben Solo turns on him, and he just fucking goes MIA. I think what ended up happening was Ben Solo killed all of the Jedi apprentices, and it made Luke go into hiding. But why the fuck would Luke go into hiding? Think of that. He's a fucking coward. He went from a character in the original trilogy, big fucking balls, blew up a fucking Death Star, didn't use the fucking tracker thing to fucking blow up the Death Star, fucking confronts Vader and the Emperor voluntarily. Like, that dude has a big fucking set of balls and plays his dad like a puppet master. And when he's found with adversity, in these movies or in between the two movies, he just hides like a bitch, because the fucking Luke Skywalker from the original trilogy would have fucking taken the Obi-Wan Kenobi approach, in my eyes, and would have either met Ben Solo and either tried to convert him to the light side, and if he couldn't do it, he'd have to do his fucking duty, what he has to do for the better of humanity, and that's try to kill Ben Solo, like what Obi-Wan did with Anakin. That's how I felt like the Luke Skywalker character was, but I guess not, J.J. Abrams. I guess fucking not. So, that really pisses me off. Also, another thing I hated was that they didn't explain to me, the plot's trash. How was the fucking Empire or the First Republic still so super relevant? They didn't really explain much of it. You know, you'd think that going to the original trilogy, in a totalitarian regime with the Emperor and Vader, both of them die at once, there would be so much chaos that the Empire would just kill themselves and they wouldn't really be able to rebound. And then you'd have the rebels, you know, they fucking won the war. And they just probably set up a democracy and have, you know, Leia or Admiral Akbar or Lando or someone as the fucking chancellor and do fucking democracy. You think that would happen, but they didn't really explain. So somehow magically 30 years later, the rebellion are underdogs, and it's just fucking stupid. Also, another thing I hated about the plot was the dysfunctional family bullshit. I'm tired of it. It was not compelling to me at all. And, I mean, I didn't give a fuck. I was really happy. My favorite scene in the movie was when Kylo Ren killed Han Solo, because I hated Han Solo at that point and I wanted him to die, and I felt satisfied. So thanks, J.J. Abrams. You turned one of my favorite characters into one of my most hated characters. Luke Skywalker is my favorite Jedi. Now I have him all the way down to Episode 2 Anakin level. Thank you, J.J. Abrams. So, yeah, that's my main thing. And I'm a person where the plot is the absolute most important part of the movie. If you have a shitty plot, you have a shitty movie. In my opinion, this movie was just Star Wars, pew pew pew, lightsaber fight, and then that's it. And my main concern was, how do you make another movie out of the original trilogy? Because it had such a happy-go-lucky ending, nothing can possibly go wrong. And I mean, there's more things I can just. The rest of my criticism are just picking. You know, like Han Solo dies, and this dude used to be a rebellion general, and he's the Princess Leia, her husband. Yet nobody cares. There's no funeral. There's no nothing. Just my rest of my concerns just pick pointing. You know, like how the fuck does Rey know how to manipulate stormtroopers? When the second she learns that she has, you know, the Force, like in the other movies, you only see Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon do that, and those guys are really fucking up there in the Jedi ladder. So how would she know how to do that? But I did think the part where she countered Kylo Ren's, you know, mind reading, that was good shit. I will say that. And I'm not saying everything was shit about it. It was a shit movie, but it did have its bright spots. The lightsaber battle was shit, in my opinion. It insulted my intelligence. In my opinion, Kylo Ren should have killed Finn and Rey just as fast as Palpatine killed those 3 Jedi Masters in his battle with Mace Windu. So, I mean, that insulted my intelligence too. And then when Snoke is a waste of Andy Serkis's talent. That's all I'm saying. It does not come off as compelling at all. Does not make fucking sense how there's a Sith Lord that powerful post the original trilogy. There's just so many holes. You know what? Maybe I do need another movie in 2 years. Maybe they'll answer some of my questions. But in terms of what I know, this movie's fucking garbage. And it ruined the original trilogy for me. It really did. I don't think I can watch those movies ever again. So that's the video. I'm going to just say this is the worst Star Wars movie of all time. Maybe they'll redeem themselves in, you know, 8 and 9, and maybe they'll make this one look better in hindsight. But overall, the movie was shit. Only somewhat enjoyed it just because it was Star Wars. And, I mean, that's my video. And I'll end it a little lightheartedly. I liked what they did with Chewbacca. They actually made Chewbacca useful and actually made him like a badass, unlike in the original trilogies where he'd just stand around and be like, So yeah, that's another thing I liked. They gave Chewbacca some more respect as a character. And I mean, that's the video. Peace.